So I was sent a link or two by one of my Facebook buddies, Alistair, and I thought this would be part of part two of Welsh Labour using satellites to spy on homeowners and hike council tax. Part one. Yeah, this will be part two. Now, I keep telling people, listen, you've got to realise you're dealing with at least 10% of society here. And most people just don't get it. They don't get it. Because you see, the thing is, they go under so many different names, so many different aspects of society that we're blissfully unaware of. Freemasonry is the most obvious, and some people say it's the entirety of it. But there is so many belief systems that you are mostly unaware of that take up quite a bit of their lives, but they're invested in it. And we live in a business, and while they make out better than the rest of us, the fine-tuning of that, because the occult elite, there is no end to their greed, is always to our detriment. And the 10% want to continue to have their lifestyles and play musical chairs on the long term, I would argue. Because part of that fine-tuning is, well, not having to humour so many underlings, hence the reason of AI and things beyond biology. Yeah? Nanotech, all the rest of it. And you could say, well, what's that got to do with that Labour using satellites to spy on homeowners? And by the way, Starmer was like, well, you've got to look at Wales as a role model. Meanwhile, he said, no, we wouldn't do it, but we could be. And let's face it, you can't even describe what an adult woman is. It's the detail. But anyway, and I, as I say, go back to thinking about Alistair, and he sent me this. Next to this, by somebody called Days of Noah. I have no idea who they are. I have not looked at any of their other work. I skipped through pretty much most of this. I'm not saying it's not great. It's possibly phenomenal. But I picked straight up on this. Under fair use, let me grab a speaker and play you. Think about councils while the individual says the following.
There was a new O-level called computing science, and nobody knew what computer science was. So the maths teacher put a piece of code up on the board, and he told the class to change it to do something.
Now remember, while you're hearing about code and computing, you're seeing about biology and plant life and life in general.
Completely different. And within seconds I was lucky enough to be able to do it, and that was it, I was hooked. I'm Julie McCann. I'm a professor at Imperial College, the Department of Computing. I'm curious about future computer systems and how they're able to adapt to their environments. My approach is to be inspired by biology and nature.
To be inspired by biology and nature. Think about this.
And the tricks that those systems do, and bring that into computer systems. There's a number of trends.
Think about what she just said there. The tricks and shenanigans, and let's just develop a technocracy based on that.
That are happening in technology at the moment. Sensors are shrinking in size.
Think about what she's saying.
At the same time, we can do a lot with...
Meanwhile, all you're seeing is nature in the background, because we're gods. Think about this.
Wireless communications.
Wireless communications, we are surrounded by this. The Internet of Things.
All this is coming together to build these tiny systems that can play a massive role in cities. We're miniaturizing...
And a massive role in cities. Think about this.
These systems further and further. And what we have at the moment are systems...
Meanwhile, you're seeing honeybees.
Systems that would be around matchbox size. They can be miniaturized in the near future to around the size of a penny. But the aim is ultimately to bring these down to the size of dust.
Seriously. Oh dear, I've done a couple of versions of that and I deleted them, and maybe I should have uploaded them, but you could talk about this shit for hours. They think of themselves as gods. On that first vid, we're talking satellite. They are way beyond this. Imagine every aspect of life has something engineered into them to connect with others and whatever else. If this is not the Borg, well, what the fuck? You know.
So imagine our near future where we've got these sensors implanted in the environment.
Implanted in the environment. Somewhere on the sociopathic, psychopathic scale, yeah.
We've got a problem ahead of us. If they start to communicate with
they goes on to say we've got a problem. Yeah, I could think of many. Absolutely. Like, what are we doing? Yeah. But it's not we. It's them. And think about it. She's like magic fairy dust off her hand.
We're bound to hit a boundary quite soon. And we know this is the Shannon capacity. This is the uppermost capacity for a given space that one can communicate wirelessly in. This has implications for industry in the sense that hit that boundary, basically the communication systems fail.
Unbelievable. And remember, the subliminal is inspired by nature. What the fuck is natural about any of this? Anyway, your thoughts, your views. You've been great company, and I'll speak to you soon.